Good day to you, sir. I will be discussing all about the Republic Act number 9165, an act instituting the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, repealing Republic Act number 6425, otherwise known as the Dangerous Drugs Act of 1972 as amended, providing funds further and for other purposes. So, Section 1, short title. This act shall be known and cited as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Section 2, Declaration of Policy. It is the policy to state to safeguard the integrity of its territory and well-being of its citizenry, particularly the youth, from the harmful effect on dangerous drugs on their physical and mental well-being, and to defend the same against act or omission detrimental to their development preservation. In view of the foregoing, the states needs to enhance further the efficacy of the law against dangerous drugs, it being one of today's more serious social ills. Towards this end, the government shall pursue an intensive and unrelenting campaign against the trafficking and use of dangerous drugs and other similar substances through an integrated system of planning, implementation, and enforcement of anti-drug abuse policies, programs, and projects. The government shall, however, aims to achieve a balance in the nation drug control program so that the people will legitimate medical needs are not prevented from being treated with an adequate amounts of appropriate medication, which includes the use of dangerous drugs. It further declared the policy of the state to provide effective mechanism or measures to reintegrate into society individuals who have been fallen victims to drug abuse or dangerous drug dependence through sustainable program of treatment and rehabilitation. So, Article 1, Definition of Terms, Section 3, as used in Act, the following terms shall mean: A. Administer. Any act of introducing any dangerous drugs into the body of any person with or without his her knowledge by injection, inhalation, ingestion, or other means of committing any act of indispensable assistance to a person in administering a dangerous drugs to himself or herself unless administered by a duly licensed practitioner for purpose of medication. So, a administer is, in other words, the administering, it is not a person to whom a dangerous drugs was introduced into the body or into our body to talk the act of introducing dangerous drugs, but by someone to another person if by their injection, inhalation, or ingestion or other means. So, I will proceed to the A and B, sir. So, the board, it refers to dangerous drugs board under Section 77, Article 6 of this Act. C. The center of any of the treatment and rehabilitation center for drug dependence referred to in a Section 34 Article of this Act. D. The chemical diversion, the sale, distribution, supply, or transport legitimately imported, in transit, manufactured, or procured, control, precursors, and essential chemicals, and diluted mixtures, and or concentrated, or to any person or entity engaged in the manufacture of any dangerous drugs and shall include packaging, repackaging, labeling, relabeling, or reconciliation of such transaction through fraud, destruction of documents, fraudulent use of permits, misdeclaration, use of front companies, or mail fraud. So, the letter D, the chemical diversion, sir, is a chemical is if we're talking about the dangerous drugs, these are referring to raw materials to be processed in the laboratory to come up with those combination of drugs. So this is are the raw materials and chemicals diversion. So these are includes the sale, distribution, the transportation, the manufactures, the procuring, and other diluted mixtures or constituted form to any person. So, a clandestine laboratory and a facility used for the illegal manufacture of any dangerous drugs and or controlled precursor and essential chemicals. So, uh, the clandestine laboratory is by the term of itself clandestine. It is literally secret or secret laboratory. So these are done secrecy. So the confirmatory test. So an analytical test using a device, tool, or equipment with a different chemical or physical principle that is more specific, which will validate and confirm the result of the screening test. So, ang confirmatory test, sir, is the test is a significant on what we call the drug test. In the drug test, first test is a person shall undergo. So, what we call screening test, it is give us either a positive or negative result, as well as the kind of drug that was used being by the person. So mo ni siya ang kanang confirmatory test, sir. The next is controlled delivery. So, I controlled precursors. So, includes those listed in tables 1 and 2 of the 1998 UN Convention Against Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances as enumerated and the attached annex, which an integral part of this act. Cultivate or culture. Any act of knowingly planting, growing, raising, or permitting the planting or raising of any plant and which is source of a dangerous drugs. Then, the dangerous drugs include those listed in the schedules annexed to the 1961 Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs as amended by the 1972 Protocol and in the schedules annexed to the 1971 Single Convention of Psychotropic Substances as enumerated in the attached annex, which is an integral part of this act, sir. So, the lever, so this is unknowingly passing a dangerous drugs. Then the then dive resort. So the then dive resort is a place where any dangerous drugs and or controlled precursor and essential chemicals administered, delivered, stored for illegal purposes, distributed, sold, or used of any form. So in other country, the Den Dive Resort, they have their own drug hotel, because using the distribution, the administration of dangerous drugs, sir, and was done in a hotel. So muna siya ang drug hotel, pero for the purposes of the jurisdiction, we only have a Den Dive Resort. Unless such time, they have also will resort to such kind of luxurious place. So, we will have a drug hotel as well. Then, kana nga place is ginagamit siya sa illegal purpose as the distribution of using a dangerous drugs.